This is the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief, keeping you informed about the happenings in Annapolis and the area. Local news, local sports, local events, local opinion, and of course, local weather. The Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief starts now.
Good morning. It's Wednesday, August 5th, 2020. This is John Frenaye, and this is your Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Leading off with the bizarre, the Anne Arundel County Police have arrested a Severn man and charged him with various assault charges after he squirted ignited lighter fluid onto a neighbor. Very early on Tuesday morning, Anne Arundel County police officers responded to the 1700 block of Mead Village Circle in Severn, and the adult female victim was outside of her house smoking a cigarette when the suspect squirted lighter fluid at her through a flame from a lighter, causing the lighter fluid to ignite. He hit the victim twice with the ignited stream and fled. The victim did not require any medical treatment, and the police were able to locate the suspect in a vehicle on Route 100 a short time later. He was arrested and charged with first and second degree assault. He was identified as a 53-year-old man from the 1700 block of Mead Village Circle, so that was a neighbor. Well, that's not very neighborly. Okay, so they told me yesterday we had a tropical storm here. Yes, it did rain. Yes, it did get windy. The Bay Bridge was closed down for a lot, but we really sort of escaped the brunt of that. We had about 3.5 to 8 inches of rain, depending on where you were in the county, and there was really minimal damage across the county. No real flooding, mostly down trees and down branches, and obviously power was out in some locations. At the peak of the storm, there were 75,000 without power. That represented about 20% of BG&E's customers. And now we're down under 3,000 in Anne Arundel County, which is less than 1%. We dodged a bullet with that one. Hopefully there won't be any more coming up the bay. And in some COVID news, in an effort to speed up test results, which have been getting slower and slower the more people were testing, Governor Hogan announced that Maryland is working with 6 other states to go in on a giant purchase of an antigen test, which is basically a rapid test, which will give you results in about 15 minutes. Maryland formed an alliance with Louisiana, Massachusetts, Michigan, Ohio, Virginia, as well as North Carolina, and they're going to buy about 500,000 tests for each state, with a joint purchase would be about 3.5 million tests. Well, the beauty of the test is that they can get results in about 15 minutes, but the downside is they do produce some false positives, particularly in areas where there's not a lot of disease present, and additionally they do produce some false negative results. A little bit of give and take, but I would think that a quick result would be better off than waiting several weeks. You know, I love the Forbes list, the Forbes richest people in America, which I never seem to get, the Forbes richest people in Maryland, which I also never seem to get, Forbes richest people in Annapolis, yep, I'm not on that list either. But they did release a list on the most valuable sports franchises, and our very own Ravens ranked number 32 with a value of $2.75 billion. That valuation is up about 6% from last year, but their ranking did drop 2 spots. Those evil Steelers are 2 spots ahead of Maryland. They came in at number 28 with a valuation of $2.8 billion. And meanwhile, the Washington football team, the team formerly known as the Redskins, tied for number 14 with a value of $3.4 billion. Okay, the Washington Redskins haven't had a legitimate team in years. How the hell can they be still valued at $3.4 billion? That's beyond me. Well, it goes to explain it because the Dallas Cowboys are number 1 for the 5th year in a row with $5.5 billion. Number 2 was the New York Yankees, no surprise there, $5 billion. Big money in professional sports. And finally, if you want to join a lively, and I say lively because you can't see air quotes, discussion, you want to take a gander at the latest opinion piece on Eye on Annapolis about defunding the HPV vaccine Gardasil. Josh Mazer has some new data, and to be honest, it's kind of compelling. Then go to the All Annapolis Facebook page and jump on in the comments. I did put a link into Josh's opinion piece, so you can click right from the article over into our Facebook page. All right, that does wrap it up for us this morning. Please make sure you're checking out eyeonannapolis.net throughout the day because we're going to update these stories and more as they come in. If you're someplace you can leave a rating or a review, please do that as well. And let your friends and family and colleagues know about us, how to get us, and how to subscribe to us. Other than that, hang tight. We've got George Young with your local DMV weather forecast coming up in just 1 minute. But here is Rick Peters from Solar Energy Services.
Hello, energy consumers. This is Rick Peters, president of Solar Energy Services. Have you been looking for ways to save money recently? Maybe you should consider solar energy for your home. Or are you waiting for the technology to get cheaper? If so, how long are you going to wait? Today's solar costs less than 20% of what it cost 10 years ago. But while solar prices have declined every year, so have the financial incentives. Bottom line, if you wait for cheaper solar, you're also waiting for lower incentives. Take my home, for example. My solar system was installed in 2010, and it's been paid off for almost 5 years, and I no longer have to buy any electricity for another 15 to 20 years. If I waited for cheaper solar, I'd still be paying an electric bill. At Solar Energy Services, we have thousands of satisfied customers who are sure glad they didn't wait. So what are you waiting for? Sunshine's a wasted. Call us today for a free solar design at 410-923-6090 or on the web at solarsaves.net.
Sunshine, sunshine, nothing else can make me feel so fine.
Going out? You need the most up-to-date local weather. Here's George Young from DMV Weather in Annapolis with today's forecast.
Hey everyone, this is George with DMV Weather, and this is your Eye on Annapolis forecast for Wednesday, August 5th. Yesterday's big storm has come and gone, but it did pack a punch with heavy rains, down trees, a bit of flooding, and some tornadoes in southern Maryland, and some more on the Maryland eastern shore, but fortunately nothing too crazy in and around the Annapolis region, as the storm was a very fast mover with a forward speed over 30 miles per hour, and it was out of the area by 12 p.m. or 1 or so, which helped limit the impacts to the region. But today will be a much different story with sunny skies and highs in the 80s before a chance of showers and storms returns Thursday, and last each day through Saturday with highs in the 80s daily before sunshine and upper 80s to maybe even lower 90s on Sunday to cap off the weekend as we quickly move toward the middle of August. Okay, that's it for today. This is George Young of DMV Weather. Make it a great day out there. Stay healthy and be safe, and be sure to get our free app on all of your devices by searching DC MDVA Weather in the Apple or Google App Store, and also follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and use our website each day at dmvweather.com so you can always stay weather informed.
When you think of Watermark, you probably think of Harbor Queen. You know, the big white boat that sits down at the end of City Dock. But did you know that Harbor Queen is much more than just a visitor attraction? That thousands of local school children take field trips aboard it every year to learn about the Chesapeake Bay and our region's history. But that's not all you don't know about Watermark. When the Susquehanna River crested, washing thousands of tons of debris into our waterways, Watermark was there, rolling up their sleeves, helping the Annapolis Harbor Master clean up Ego Alley. And when the Annapolis Police Department SWAT team needed a boat to conduct special training exercises on to help protect our waters, they called Watermark. Watermark, making our mark. To learn more about how Watermark is here for our hometown, visit watermarkjourney.com.
You've been listening to the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. Tell your friends and colleagues this is the podcast where you can keep up on the latest with what's going on in Annapolis. And also tell them about our website, eyeonannapolis.net, where you can find even more information. This podcast comes to you every Monday through Friday at 7 a.m., keeping you informed with the Eye on Annapolis Daily News Brief. And take a moment to listen to our other podcast, The Maryland Crabs, released every Thursday at noon.